Okay, so it seems that recently we've had a response to this entire situation. If you don't know, obviously, we've been talking about Denims and some of her comments that she made towards VTubers and, everything like that. And, well, yeah, it seems that she's replied over on, I'm guessing this is her alt account. This is coming from a Yeet tweet saying, Denims responds after she went viral for calling out a VTuber fan and his following list. We can see here, they say, make fun of gooners who only follow hot tub streamers and right-wingers, complete silence, make fun of gooners who only follow female VTubers and right-wingers, and say intense molding. So you attacked their Oshis, so you got a white knight. That's coming from Niara, by the way, so we already know how that's going to go. And then they say the same way that the Rick and Morty fans storming McDonald's for Szechuan sauce ruined Rick and Morty, the asocial neat freaks in the VTubing community are actively trying their hardest to ruin VTubers. The only VTubers I attacked are the two right-wingers. Now, obviously, this is pretty interesting because, again, we talked about this quite a bit in the fact that, she was trying to provoke a lot of VTubers in that clip. Again, we watched through the entire thing in the first video I made on this situation. And yeah, I mean, she was going through this guy's following list, and she was obviously picking out a lot of people like Kiyoshi and stuff like that, who she called like right-wingers and Nazis and things like that. She actually, yeah, to be fair, like what she says here, she doesn't just say right-wingers, she calls them a legit Nazi, which is, insane. But also as well, you are kind of just generalizing them in the clip as well, by obviously saying that follows exclusively VTubers while also having them in the background. I mean, that's very obvious. You clearly pulled up a list of VTubers, and then you said that they follow exclusively VTubers and asmongold. He's also following to the Nazi Gooner bait. You are generalizing all of them. You have them in the background there saying VTubers, and you're saying all of this following it with them in the background. You got to expect a lot of people to realize that, hey, she is, obviously maybe she's not specifically talking about all of these, but at the same time, you have pulled up all of these accounts and are saying this with all of these accounts in the background, right? Obviously, as well, people have been replying to this saying, is she not also a booby streamer who sells gooner material? Which is also 100% true. She is further alienating some of her audience, saying making fun of gooners who only follow hot tubs, making fun of gooners who only follow VTubers and right-wingers. You can tell as well that, she, is very jealous of a lot of the VTubers that are, being successful. It's very obvious, it's very clear that she is somehow feels threatened by these like 2D women that are on the internet, right? And, obviously they're doing a better job making more money on their OFs or whatever, right? And obviously she's got one herself, as we know, and maybe, she does feel a little bit threatened by that, which I think is quite funny. And you can see that she's just further, bringing it forwards and further trying to make the situation worse. Essentially, they're saying the irony is that she has an OnlyFans, so she knows damn well that she has gooners all the same. As soon as I saw Niara pop up, I knew I was about to hear a terrible take all around. That yes, the classic king shaming is okay when I do it mentality that only Denims and Niara can utilize, saying that either one of them have the sexual appeal of roadkill, and watch them have a mental breakdown about misogynistic and transphobic we are to them respectively. Said that that isn't what ruined Rick and Morty, but on that note, it is precisely people like her that ruined Twitch, which, yeah, 100% true. And obviously, I think as well, like, a situation like this isn't going to ruin VTubing. Just because you've been attacked by the VTubing community due to your attack on them doesn't mean that the whole VTubing community is suddenly going to go to, nothing, right? There's many VTubers out there. There isn't even really a community, There is a space, I would definitely say so, where obviously, yes, everybody's connected by the fact that they are a VTuber, but there's a lot of different communities within the VTuber space, right? And I don't think any of that is really breakable, and I don't think it is going to turn into the Rick and Morty fans storming McDonald's, because let's be real, they're not going after McDonald's, they're going after a streamer who has, obviously a couple of followers, but at the end of the day, you're not like McDonald's size, right? I think there's a complete difference between obviously Denims and McDonald's. It's not even like comparable, the amount of popularity between the two, right? So again, I don't think that will be the case. I think that, again, they're saying the same way that Rick and Morty fans storming McDonald's ruined Rick and Morty. And at the same time, I feel like it didn't exactly ruin Rick and Morty. I feel like a lot of the writing for the show ruined it. So again, that just doesn't really work there. But again, I thought this was pretty crazy, and obviously she could have just, maybe not said anything, and a lot of this probably would have blown over, right? But it seems like she wants to continue to try and provoke a lot of people in the VTubing community, and it's very clear that, she's saying that obviously, I only make fun of, the people that were the two right-wingers, right? But at the same time, I feel like you are just further provoking a lot of them by generalizing them and say making fun of gooners who follow female VTubers and right-wingers, right? You literally say it here, you say you make fun of gooners who only follow female VTubers and right-wingers. Female VTubers. You don't say the two right-wing VTubers, which I was talking about, which obviously they claim. They literally say themselves that they made fun of them for the female VTubers and right-wingers. It's crazy. Like, she's contradicting herself in her own tweet there. It's crazy. But again, anyways, we can see as well, obviously in this clip, there was many VTubers that have been included in this who obviously all feel very offended by what she says. There's one side of, her saying, oh, well, I was actually talking about these two ones specifically. And like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because obviously, you could see the amount of backlash that she gotten from many of the VTubers that were featured on this list, with her talking about like right-wing VTubers and things like that. And, him liking VTubers. Because, again, it's not just the case of, her being fed up of right-wing, creators or whatever, right? It doesn't really matter. I think the main point here is that, obviously, she was going after this guy for gooning to VTubers while having people like Iron Mouse and Chibi Doki pulled up. It just doesn't make sense. I think she's been absolutely caught here in, what she was saying, because I think she was going on a little bit of a rant, whether that was due to her being, feeling threatened by a lot of these 2D women, or whether it's for another reason, right? I don't know. But it definitely does seem like she's been caught here, in the terms of just kind of generalizing a lot of these VTubers and calling them all kind of like goontubers and Nazi goonerbait, which... yeah, I think it's pretty insane, and obviously a lot of people are not happy about that. Obviously, Kyosha and Riri were not happy. Again, these are some of the posts as well. They actually continue going on with Niara saying, I literally have these people stalking my page constantly, posting my tweets to rile up people and harass me because I called out the right-wing VTuber. These freaks literally have nothing else except their Oshi and think they need to protect them at all costs, which again, obviously, this is coming from Niara. We know that Niara is a known person to have some pretty horrible takes over on Twitter and places like that. It said, I love you and I'll fight the haters for you, which again, obviously, that feels like like two super villains like teaming up for like a special episode of like the Avengers or something, which I think is pretty crazy. Obviously as well, some people have been replying to, brother, you're a PDF who white knights the idea to turn kids into giant people, so science transphobe. So I'm transphobic for not wanting children to be tortured. So again, obviously it seems like some people are getting mad about that as well. But again, I think it is pretty interesting. Again, we might see more on this due to the fact of Niara and Denims kind of teaming up there in the replies and talking about it. But again, I just think it's such a stupid situation. And you can see not very many people agree with this. It's got 16,000 views, which isn't exactly the best of ratios. I feel like she's just kind of digging a grave even deeper right now in terms of this situation in general. I think the best thing that should have been done is either to apologize or just to stay quiet, because again, obviously you don't want to kind of rile this up even further, because bro, the VTuber, a lot of VTubing fans can go pretty crazy, and I think that might be what happens if, obviously, she does continue to go on. I feel like someone is going to do something crazy, and, well, again, obviously we've seen what has happened in the VTubing community about that, which would be terrible, that should never happen, but obviously now I'm concerned that could happen, right? And I think that, obviously, I don't know, it's just a crazy situation in general. I just think that a lot of the kind of responses has been really poorly worded, and a lot of the kind of videos and things that come out have been really poorly kind of said. And at the end of the day, I think it is a pretty terrible situation in general. And I think none of these VTubers deserve to be attacked like this, or I guess, harassed like this, just due to the fact of them existing. And obviously Denims going ahead and calling them like goontubers and whatever, right? I think it is pretty ridiculous. And yeah, obviously, it seems like she's not giving up on that. So again, yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.